There's some striking new evidence coming out from Egypt deep below the ancient pyramids, and it reveals the code behind consciousness. And in fact, it even proves that consciousness is not in us, but actually we are in it. I believe knowledge is power, and having this information will make you realize how powerful you really are. And by the end of the video, I'll give you a technique and 3 benefits you can use inspired by the pyramids to begin shifting your reality. So with that being said, let's get right into it. Researchers in Egypt have found, below the pyramids, pillars running 2 kilometers, yes, 2 kilometers below the depth of the pyramids. They've used a certain type of scanning technology, which honestly, I'm not too educated about, but basically we're able to sense these vibrations coming from deep below the pyramids. And we're able to map the energy of these vibrations to reveal 6 deep pillars that go 2 kilometers deep, leading down into 2 chambers that are 50 meters by 50 meters. Yes, massive chambers that are empty, filled with air or whatever, filled with empty space. And they found a sort of vibrational resonance being emanated up from below these pyramids, up through these pillars, and converging in the pyramids themselves. Now, this has a big link to consciousness and reveals the actual technology behind the pyramids, because they were not actually tombs. And we're going to get right into this. We're going to address this exactly in this video. Now, one of the most interesting aspects of this experiment, or of this discovery, was that these vibrations were in a certain frequency, measured in hertz. We've talked about it on the channel before, that everything is a frequency, right? And the frequency emanated by these pyramids was between 8 and 13 hertz, which is sort of ironic because that matches the frequency of the planet. Like Earth itself has its own vibrational frequency, just like you do. Vibrating, right? Everything is vibrating. You learn this in science class when you're going through it in high school or whatever. They would talk about how solids, liquids, and gases have particles that are moving all the time. Even a solid thing like this cup even has like particles that are kind of vibrating at a certain frequency, right? And the interesting part is that this resonance from the Earth is called the Schumann resonance. Now, the Schumann resonance is a vibration of the planet. It fluctuates from time to time because the Earth is an electromagnetic planet, right? You're an electromagnetic being. Now, the Schumann frequency is very interesting because it actually resonates at 8 to 13 hertz, which matches the frequency of our brain when we're in an alpha state. That state of tranquility, relaxation, you may be in a meditation, just a relaxed, wakeful state is the alpha state. And this was the energy that was being radiated up through the pyramids and out through the pyramids, which makes us think of some, make some inferences here. If the pyramids were radiating this resonance, and our brain is in a relaxed alpha state when we're exposed to this resonance, then we could even make this connection, and researchers are starting to make this connection, that the pyramids may have been harmonic resonators, resonating a certain frequency that would have influence on the population, creating a sense of unified consciousness in this relaxed alpha state. This state also encourages peacefulness and just a peaceful, chill way of thinking. Now, your brain goes through many different states. You're in a beta state when you're in awake, moving around, kind of like your most wakeful state, and then you go into deeper states of frequency when you're in like a sleep state or whatever, deeper sleep state, delta and theta state. You don't need to know all of this, but you do need to know that this alpha state puts you in a state of deep relaxation, which is really surprising because imagine these pyramids having such an effect on people that around that area, and maybe even presumed around the globe if these things were connected together, there was a unified sense of peace, a unified state of relaxation that people were able to be in. And that just speaks to the level of technology. Now, how can we apply this to our own lives? Well, we can make the inference that consciousness is made up of fields of frequency. Consciousness is not this thing that runs like a little microprocessor in our brain like we think, because your brain is just a radio receiver antenna. It's able to receive and project information. And where does this information even come from? Now, everything you see, hear, feel, and touch is held together and animated by vibration. Let me give you an example. Let's say you have a hammer, and you use this hammer to hit a rock, and you break the rock open, physical matter shifts, and the rock breaks apart. This is just not physics. This is not just like materials moving around. This is communication through frequency. The hammer emanated a frequency on the rock, which then changed its frequency, which then broke it apart, and you ended up with a changed form of the thing that you're interacting with. In this way, you are the instrument that has abilities to affect the vibrations around you. And the universe is not just like a collection of a bunch of dead inert matter. It is actually a collection of nested vibrations. Like those little, I don't even know what you call them, those little babushka little babushka dolls where you have the big doll and then you have the little one inside and you have the little one inside, nesting dolls. You know what I mean? There's the as above, so below. There's that hermetic principle. And Nikola Tesla himself even speaks to this. I'm going to read the quote right now. Now, here's a quote from Nikola Tesla. Alpha waves in the human brain are between 6 and 8 hertz. The wave frequency of the human cavity resonates between 6 and 8 hertz. All biological systems operate in the same frequency range. The human brain's alpha waves function in this range, and the electrical resonance of the earth is between 6 and 8 hertz. Thus, our entire biological system, the brain and the earth itself, work on the same frequencies. I'm going to say that again. Our entire biological system, the brain and the earth itself, work on the same frequencies. If we can control that resonant system electronically, we can directly control the entire mental system of humankind. This was Nikola Tesla who said this. Now think about how profound that is. That the effect of consciousness, the unifying effect of consciousness that these pyramids must have had. And when you even look at the structure of the pyramids now, with this structure that basically has these pillars running down to this empty space where energy is allowed to move, and then the peak at the top where energy radiates out of, it is a literal representation of your human body. Let me explain. The heart-mind connection, heart coherence, something we talk about all the time on the channel, because this ability to match the frequency emanated from your heart when you're in a positive emotional state, and the brain frequencies when you're in a positive mental state, combine to create something called heart-mind coherence. And when you have heart-mind coherence, you literally have the ability to shape and shift reality. So first of all, how do we even achieve heart-mind coherence? You see, your heart is the only muscle in your body, aside from your brain, that actually has neurons embedded within it, like a miniature brain. Except this brain has access to energetic fields around you. You ever walk into a room or you're at a party and you see some sketchy looking dudes walk in, right? You have a feeling that something's about to go down. That is not coming from your mind. That is being picked up from your heart, picking up on these energetic fields. And this is not something that can happen overnight. I'd be lying to you if I said that. This is something you work on over time, a state to achieve, that many people will take maybe months even to achieve. For me, it took me probably about 3 or 4 months to achieve this kind of a state. And I did this by first addressing my own emotional wounds, because emotions are trapped in our body. Old traumas are trapped in our body. This is a process of going inwards and doing some inner alchemy. This is where having a coach, and this is something I do offer, can help you in processing your emotional wounds to be in a positive state, to cultivate this positive feeling within you. And when you have this positive feeling, and you have a coherent mind that is not so much being run by your ego, but being run from a place where you are the creator of your own reality, that you can create as if you were created. When these two things combine, then you can see your perspective will shift. You'll have a higher level of awareness. In addition to that, something else that I talk about is this ability to reduce your anxiety through heart mind coherence. Spend 10 minutes every morning, 5 to 10 minutes at least, when you start. It's going to take some time. Sit in a dark room, close your eyes, look up towards your third eye, your pineal gland, and you'll feel a little bit of a pressure. Sit there in 10 minutes of silence. And at first, it's going to be very difficult. There's going to be a lot of thoughts come up, a lot of unprocessed emotions that are just sitting and festering in your subconscious mind. But as you observe these thoughts and let them go, and you observe these thoughts and let them go, you'll find the center of your being, that inner silence, that clarity. And in that clarity is when you'll begin purifying this heart-mind connection, clearing this old energy out of your system. And this is one way to achieve this. In addition to, of course, addressing the feeling, being in a positive state, addressing your old emotional wounds, addressing beliefs that no longer serve you, that are all running in your subconscious mind. So this is a process of purification. When you're able to do this, you achieve this heart-mind connection, and similar to the pyramids, you'll have this ability to tap into an alpha state. Not only that, but those around you will be affected by this state as well. Subscribe to the channel if you've not already. Check out my coaching program. Until next time, peace.